Gaza is an open-air prison, and its most important feature is that there is no food inside. Israel's policy, often summed up as "they will not die, but they will suffer," is not media propaganda. It is a real genocide strategy, openly stated by their own officials. In 2006, an Israeli advisor described it in chilling terms: "We will put the Palestinians on a diet, but we will not let them die of hunger." In other words, keep them alive, but always hungry. Israel's army unit, Kogat, prepared documents that calculated the minimum daily calories for Gaza's people, 2,279 calories, just enough to keep them alive, but never full. And based on this, Israel limits the amount of aid that enters Gaza. The goal is simple: not to kill, but to make them suffer. Let's go back 20 years. In 2005, Israel withdrew from Gaza, but this was not freedom. It was preparation for a bigger siege. A year later, in 2006, Hamas won the elections. Israel refused to accept the result and started a blockade. The aim was to destroy Gaza's economy, make the people poor, and weaken support for Hamas. By 2007, Gaza was completely cut off by land, air, and sea. Food, fuel, medicine, construction materials, all restricted. This was not random. The 2008 Israel document calculated exactly how much food would prevent starvation but keep people weak. The UN called it collective punishment and said it was illegal under international law, but no sanctions were imposed. Over time, the blockade became even harsher. The world got used to it. After the major war in 2023, Gaza was not just blockaded, it was cut off from the world completely. According to Israeli data, between March and June 2025, only 56,000 tons of food entered Gaza, less than 25% of what is needed. Over 2 million people tried to survive on this. Gaza's health ministry says 147 people have died of hunger in the last 2 years, 88 of them children. That's 6 out of every 10 victims dying before they could even grow up. And these are only the recorded cases. In many areas, no one has been able to reach for months. 9 out of 10 households have no access to clean water. Even aid distribution points are not safe. In areas declared evacuation zones or targeted by the army, people are forced to go for food, sometimes into death traps. Last month, in a single day, 91 people were killed and over 600 injured while waiting in bread lines. This shows that hunger is not the only killer. Trying to get food can also cost your life. Take the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a Delaware-based aid group supported by Israel and the US. If you were a Gazan relying on them, you'd face something shocking. Centers open only a few times a day for just 8 to 10 minutes. If you're a strong young man, maybe you can push through the crowd. But if you're a child, a woman, elderly, or disabled, you have no chance. What about airdrops? Countries like France and the UK have sent aid planes. But in 104 days of drops, the total food delivered was enough for only 4 days of Gaza's needs. And some food was wasted, landing in the wrong places. Under international law, genocide includes destroying a group's living conditions to eliminate them. So let's ask, which category does all this fit into? Even Israeli human rights groups have published reports calling this genocide. And remember, such destruction is impossible without Western support. The US and many European countries still provide Israel with weapons and diplomatic cover. Some reactions have come. Germany stopped arms sales. Australia and some European countries announced they will recognize Palestine as a state. The EU recently proposed suspending Israel's privileges in its $95 billion Horizon Europe research program, a major step, since no country has ever been excluded before. What would this mean? Since 2021, Israel has received around 200 million euros from this program for tech and innovation projects. If suspended, 46 Israeli companies could lose funding. It would hit one of Israel's strongest sectors, technology. This proposal is not yet approved by all EU members, but it already sparked debate. Even Donald Trump, usually an unconditional supporter, said in July, Israel must do more to stop a real hunger crisis. Other proposals include suspending trade deals, sanctioning certain companies, or banning Israel from international events. But all this is late, weak, and still only talk. When Russia attacked Ukraine, Europe reacted instantly, banning sports, cutting trade, closing events. But in the Middle East, even with far worse civilian suffering, it took 3 years for such discussions to start. This is pure double standards. And still, Israel has not changed course. Just 2 days ago, Netanyahu said the best way to end the war is to take Gaza City. The full occupation plan has been approved. Remember, Silence helps the oppressor, not the oppressed. Staying silent while children in Gaza starve is being part of the crime. If enough people speak loudly, governments will have to act. The world has stopped ethnic cleansing before, in Bosnia, in Darfur. We are at that point again. Gaza's destruction can be stopped, but only if we act now. No one can say, "I didn't know anymore." If we don't want to watch someone die of hunger on camera, we must raise our voices now. This video was not funded by any organization. No one asked me to make it. Every number you heard is from public sources. While I prepared this, 5 journalists were killed in Gaza. The Israeli army admitted they directly targeted Al Jazeera's reporter Enes al-Sharif. As an independent voice, this is the only way I can make Gaza's voice heard. Share it, spread it, inform others. Thank you for listening.